What's up, y'all? Polo Sports Talking Entertainment here again with another one. Be sure to hit that like button, sub to the channel if you're new, and also hit the notifications so that you're able to get all of my content as well as all of my videos. I see y'all in here already. True Viking, I see you in the building, Queen, and Tom Wynn. I see y'all in here too. Um, Before I get this video started, man, let me give a shout out to several people. Uh, I was chopping it up last night with the brother Jose Rodriguez. Definitely go sub to his channel. Jose Rodriguez, Seahawks fan. Definitely got killer work ethic, and also he is man. He's funny. He's gonna bring, but he's also gonna bring you logic at the same time, and he definitely knows his sports. Definitely very knowledgeable man, and just a good, decent brother overall. Also want to give a shout out to the brother Scrub Zero. Uh, Definitely give Scrub Zero a uh, a look in terms of his channel. Uh, he bring very knowledgeable about the game of basketball as well as football, and also does good commentary as well. He's been on my channel all the time. Good, decent brother overall. And then also got to give a shout out to the brother Mamba. Mamba. Just look his channel up, MBK21. Definitely go sub to Mamba's channel. He's a Philly fan, just like myself. I see you in the building, Ted Cox. Um, he's very knowledgeable about the game too, as well as other teams and stuff, and also a gamer too as well. So definitely go sub to his channel. Now let's go ahead and get right to it. All right. Now last night, the Dallas Mavericks they went ahead and defeated the Phoenix Suns in a much needed victory, 103-94. Okay. And it was a much needed victory. And see, there's some key things here. Okay. Now, Luca, I felt like he played better this game than last game. And I know some people are going to be like, that's cap and everything like that. But the fact that he was able to have a more well-rounded game in terms of 26 point, 13 rebounds, and 9 assists. But his assists were, in comparison to him just throwing the ball to the 3 point line, he really had some assists that were very important in terms of his playmaking prowess that he was doing. And then also, uh, Jalen Brunson had 28 points as well, and it was a much needed step up by Jalen Brunson. That's not to say that he hasn't. He's just getting adapted, just like what I'm about to talk about right now, in terms of what Kid is trying to bring to the table. Now, you did see that uh, they did get. I'm not gonna say into it, but it's just like Jason Kidd is no nonsense, man, and he's old school. And I'm gonna talk about Jason Kidd in another video, okay? But Kidd's plan is really working for Luca as well as the other team, and they're really starting to buy in. And it's funny that the teams that weren't really buying in at first, now they're buying in. When we talk about Ima Udoka and his system over there in Boston, when we talk about Kidd and his system now, even though some of the other teams they've been buying in to like the Memphis and other teams that are doing very well, but these two teams in particular, they're actually starting to buy in. Now, uh, he called out Luca. Okay, he called out Luca. Look, I know Luca did phenomenal with his footwork. Okay, listen, I never denied Luca's talent. That's shout out to Ticket TV. That's what I was telling Ticket about Luca. At one point in time, they had Luca ranked high in the rankings in terms of the NBA rankings, and I didn't have a problem with it because I knew what Luca brought to the table from an offensive standpoint. But I said he needs to work on his defense as well as his conditioning. But the moves, I mean, he had it, and he put on a display last night with the moves in his arsenal. He even he put a move last game on Cameron Johnson, and was just making him miss, and had enough space to go ahead and get in there. He did the same thing to Aiden too as well. Okay, now here's the thing. Okay, Jason Kidd, I'm glad that he called out Luka because everybody sees it. Listen, if you play both ends of the floor, no, you don't have to be that fast or that athletic or anything, but the fact that you're giving 150% effort on both ends of the floor, that's going to make your game much more well-rounded, and it's also going to make your teammates respect you a lot more, because if they see that you're just sitting there, you're dominating the ball, and you're constantly you won't come off the ball, you always want the ball, and your usage rate is through the roof, and 9 times out of 10, you're hoisting the ball, but these other guys are playing defense, man. Them guys ain't going to want to play with you. And I think that Jason Kidd is trying to instill that in a guy like Luka. Um, look, I like the fact that what was impressive about Luka is the fact that he had 2 steals. Okay, and you know I understand that he was doing his passing and his step back 3 pointers and stuff like that. We already know that he could do that, and Phoenix already knows that you could do that. You know what I'm saying? But last night you were frustrating Phoenix. You know why? Because you were doing something that they didn't expect. They were expecting you to just be one dimensional. No, you came back, and not only was it you that was playing and leading the charge and everything. Guess what? It was Brunson and the other role players that were stepping up too as well. And another guy that's not getting enough credit is Finney Smith. He's always shown up. Matter of fact, I'm glad Finney Smith didn't leave last this offseason, because they definitely, a lot of teams were interested in a guy like Finney Smith. You see, Richardson is gone, but Richardson was one of their better defenders too as well. You said, okay, you said, and I agree with the media gives a bad rap for his marital issues. Well, you know what though, like, and I'm looking at the comments or whatever, but Ted Cox brought up something. Listen, Jason Kidd, if we're gonna go there, right, and they're gonna talk about Jason Kidd's his shortcomings and everything, then we got to talk about many other coaches that were in there. I mean, let's start with Derek Fisher, right? I mean, come on, look at Derek Fisher. We know what he's been on, and it's happened within the locker room and everything like that. Listen, he's a human being at the end of the day. He's turned his life around or whatever. But it ain't really even about turning his life around, really. You understand what I'm saying? Because at the same token, everybody's going to make their mistakes. They made their mistakes as a player, and you're also going to make your mistakes also as just a human being in general. So, I mean, if we're going to sit up there and we're going to pull, skeletons out the closet and everything like that, listen, I'll guarantee you, man, there will be a whole bunch of junkyard full of bones when we talk about the NBA and some of these coaches, some of these players, some of these GMs, some of these executives or whatever. But that's a whole nother story. Okay. Now, listen, the first 2 games of the series had always been about Luka. Okay. And, this is another thing that's very key to point out. He's either scored or assisted on 43 of, I think, 76 of the Mavericks field goals, okay, and that's within game 1 or 2. But while that's good, that's not going to get you to win against a team that's a hybrid that can pretty much do everything in terms of defense, in terms of transition, in terms of playing in the half court, and also being able to run as well and be scrappy and also be finesse as well, like the Phoenix Suns. Dallas needed their role players, okay? And the guy that really, really, I think needs to step up, just in my opinion, is Spencer Dinwiddie. Spencer Dinwiddie. I know everybody been talking about Reggie Bullock. I think Reggie Bullock has been doing sensational. He has to stay out of foul trouble. And like I already mentioned, Finney Smith and Jalen Brunson, of course. You know what I'm saying? And I don't see Jalen Brunson as just what you say. Oh, just he's just just an ISO role player per se. He's a very important player, and he's a floor general. And I've said it time and time again, just like I said about Maxi, the offense should be running through those guys in terms of from a playmaker standpoint. If we're talking about old school and prototypical point guard, Jalen Brunson, he's gonna he's gonna get you a well-rounded game just like Luka can too as well, and that's gonna be key. Uh, I think where Brunson kind of slipped off or whatever is that he saw that this wasn't the Utah Jazz because I mean he pretty much carried the Mavericks when Luka was gone. Okay, and you know he kind of slipped out a little bit, but he was able to bounce back, and that's one of the things that I like about Brunson. He's able to bounce back after having a a tumultuous game. Now let's talk about the Phoenix Suns, okay? Because they they were not good at all. Okay, now Aiden, you thought that he was gonna, come in and even further exploit the mismatch down low when you talk about him and McGee, but that wasn't happening. And the first few minutes I had went well, but then they looked like they were playing very sloppy. You know what I'm saying? And I'm pretty sure my guy Hitman X he noticed that. They were missing shots that they usually make, and they were just out of sync or whatnot. Now, this is the thing that I think was very very surprising to me. What's up with it, Stephen Green? I see you in the building. This was very surprising to me. Okay, Chris Paul had 7 turnovers, 7 turnovers, and that was just in the first half. Okay, he hadn't had that many turnovers in the first 2 games combined, and he's never even had 6 turnovers in a half of a playoff game in his career. Let me repeat that. Okay, Chris CP3. Shout out to Mamba. Okay, Mamba. He had pretty much said that Chris Paul is his favorite point guard of all time. Chris Paul had 7 turnovers in the first half. He never had that many turnovers in the first 2 games combined, and he's never had even close to 6 turnovers in a half in a playoff game in his entire career. Okay, listen, that's key right there. Because if you don't have Chris Paul in sync and he's not playing the floor general, you said, true, right, and the refs are favoring the Suns with call. Not this game. Absolutely not this game, Ted Cox. And I felt like the officiating actually did a good job. But that those first 2 games, they actually had the second game, Ted Cox, the Mavericks. It's just that they've become so predictable with what they're doing down the stretch of games or whatever, which is typical for a young team. And like I said, Luka he's in a learning process right now. Phoenix has already been there. They already been there. They know what it's like to be in on the big stage, so to speak, having chasing the championships or whatever. So they've already been there. Now, also, the thing that I think is a very key going forward in this series, Mavericks also have to also buy into it as well as Luka is buying in. The Mavericks they've been doing their thing, but they do need to step it up, and they're going to frustrate. You could clearly see the frustration on both Monty Williams and on CP3 and the rest of the Suns' faces. You know, uh, and also I felt like he made some ill-advised decisions. Like the the other one that I felt like was very ill-advised that I've never seen from a CP3 uh, play before is when he didn't take a wide open layup and he wanted to throw a pass to DeAndre Ayton, and Ayton wasn't even expecting that, you know. But listen, the Mavericks won this game more than Phoenix had lost it, and I'm just going to be honest with you. Some people might feel differently. The Mavericks won this game more than Phoenix had lost. Okay, so I can't take anything away from the performance, but they got to get another one at home. Now, will they stick to the game plan? Maybe so, maybe so. But with a coach who is an adjustment god, like a Ima Udoka, like Monty Williams is, I can guarantee you that Monty Williams is going to figure something out. And if he doesn't, then it'll be likely that they'll go ahead and they'll figure something out over their footsteps when they get over there in Arizona. You know, but this is another thing too that I think people need to understand. There's two things that we also have to look at too, Stephen Green and True Viking and Ted Cox. Check this out, right? Jason Kidd is not getting enough credit for being able to develop, for him to be able to spot out talent and be able to develop. Now, check this out, all right? He was the one that gave Giannis his his first, I guess you could say, being thrown in the fire, if you will. You know what I'm saying? He pretty much had took a chance on Giannis, even running him at the point guard. Now you understand why Giannis likes to handle the ball, because Jason Kidd was phenomenal in being able to spot that out and see where the game was going in terms of positionless. Now you see Giannis, and some people ask, I think Too Raw for TV, shout out to him. He was asking why Giannis continues to handle the rock and everything like that, which I do agree with him. He needs to come off the ball too as well, so he can save energy too as well. Because Giannis, even though he's durable and everything, he can get fatigued too as well. But that's neither here nor there. I'm not going to stay on that point. What I'm saying is that he's got a guy like Luka, still got a lot of things to add to his game, and he's still young. People act like he might look, in terms of his game might look mature and everything, like he's going into his 30s and everything. But Luka is still a young player in this league. So when you're young and you're coachable and you have the mentality to develop, well, guess what? That's going to work for that superstar, and it's only going to add to his game. I've said it before. Luka, an in shape Luka, okay, and Ticket knows this. I've told Ticket this before. Shout out to Ticket once again. All right, because he feels like the Mavericks can win this series. Um, they won't. They won't. I would be very, very surprised if they get it this year, because they still got a lot of work to do. However, an in shape Luka, I'm talking about chiseled, him being well in condition, taking like maybe 10 pounds off or whatever. He's already lost a couple pounds into this season, coming in shape instead of playing into his shape. A Luka that's able to play both ends of the floor. Okay. Not, he doesn't have to be, even just him playing team defense, sort of like what Larry Bird did. And him being able to distribute and come up off the ball and move without the ball, that is the key, and that will be very dangerous for the for any team that will face the Dallas Mavericks, because now you got a Luka that can score. He could get, and see guys like Jordan, guys like Kobe, they all figured that out. They figured I don't have to handle the rock all the time. I could, because they knew, okay, Kobe, he could get you with the mid range. He can also step out and hit the three. He could also drive and penetrate when he needed to. Still had athleticism and saving his energy to get to the rack or whatever, and then dunk on your ass. And then at the same token, he can also play make. And at the same token, he can also play defense. And at the same token, he's also coachable. And on top of that, he is intelligent. And on top of that, he has a winning and an inferior, and I mean, I stress an inferior passion to win the game. That's what Luka's got. And on top of that, Luka is clutch too as well. But you're not going to do it if you keep on staying on the ball, okay? You're not playing defense, right? And you're not in shape. Okay, what's up with it, Matt Moses? I see you in the building. Make sure y'all go subscribe to the homeboy Matt Cook Sports. That's easy to say, Polo, but you need players to compensate his skills. Stephen Green. He has players on his team. See, that's the problem, Stephen Green. Let's go ahead and let's tackle that, okay? And I'm glad you mentioned that, right? Jalen Brunson had 28. He had 28. Kleber shooting a high percentage from three-pointer. Finney Smith can play both ends of the floor, and on top of that, doesn't mind doing it all. Reggie Bullock becoming one of the more better defenders, 3-and-D guys in the league. Powell, he's no scrub or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Still got to get a little better with trying to handle Aiden or whatever. But he has players on his team, and he has Dinwiddie. Dinwiddie needs to step it up a little bit. He has enough. We got to get out of this mentality like last night with the Philadelphia 76ers. Oh, well, James Harden, he's happy Embiid is back, and da-da-da-da-da. He saved me. That's the mentality we don't want on the team. Maxey was the one that was up in there. He's like, look, with or without you, still going to get it. Stop making excuses for them, Stephen Green. Stop making excuses for them. Isaiah Thomas was able to get it done with Joe Dumars in the backcourt and a whole bunch of other role players and Vinny the Microwave coming off the bench. Okay, they didn't look at Detroit as some flamboyant team or anything like that. The Detroit Pistons back in the day, I'm talking about 2004 Pistons. They were a bunch of expendable guys that everybody was thrown on the roster or whatever. It came with good coaching, good defense, and good execution. The Spurs, everybody looked at them as like, oh, they're slow, they're boring to watch. Fundamentally sound not going to win. Hey, they were in there every year. But you can count on it on the consistent. They have been consistent. Listen, if they can be, they were consistent enough to beat Utah. They were consistent enough to get out of the second round. And you're talking about a champion in a two-time champion in Jason Kidd that knows coaching. You forget that Jason Kidd didn't make it to, I think it was the semifinals with the Brooklyn Nets, the first season. When they didn't have Brook Lopez, when they had Paul Pierce, and they had all these other guys that was on there, a collective group of people. Come on, man. You have to understand that, Stephen Green. We got to stop making excuses for everybody. You know what I'm saying? And we don't do that here in the LDBC. Oh, well, if he had this and he had that, look, cry me a river. Did you see Brandon Ingram crying that he didn't have Zion? No, he had CJ McCullough. He said, hey, look, man, we got these other guys. He got a young Jones in there and everything, still been able to lock up Chris Paul. Do you see Jordan Poole making excuses? Oh, well, you know, man, these guys, you know, they might not be doing all that great or all this other stuff or whatever. Nah, He's still going out there. Oh, well, you know, man, I got to come off the bench. Nah, He's still going to come out there and give you close to 30 or more. It's no excuses, man. Oh, well, you know, Chris Middleton is gone. So, shit, there's a lot of other players that are gone. They don't have Tim Hardaway Jr., and they're still able to get it done. They got in the second round without Tim Hardaway Jr., Stephen Green. If Luka gets in better shape, he would be so much better on defense. A lot of times, he got exactly facts, time win, and he's gotten better. Listen, I'm not taking anything away from Luka. Look, a lot of people don't know this. When I was on Ticket's channel, shout out to Ticket once again. I told Ticket, and I told the rest of the guys. I wasn't really talking to Ticket, but I was talking to some other people. I told Luca, and I said this, and it was a bad take because Giannis ended up getting a championship before Luca. But I said Luca would get a championship before Giannis if the roster was constructed around him and everything. If he got in better shape, if he came off the ball, and if he was able to work on other aspects of his game, particularly when we talk about the defensive end and him being in shape. So, I know Stephen Green. I know we want to sit here and be like, well, you got to do something with it. No, Luca has to do his part too. That's no, as a superstar, you have really a bigger responsibility than everybody else. And as I've said before, check this out too. All right, he was the one that marched into the front office and wanted Donnie Nelson Jr. gone. He was the one. What's up with it, Lou? Right, I see you in the building. You said Suns gonna win game 4. Yeah, it's a big possibility. Make sure y'all go subscribe to the homeboy Lou the Writer Sports. I checked that video out too yesterday. Shout out to Nola James too. I don't know where you at, man. Make sure y'all go subscribe to Nola Boy Sports and everything. One of the LDBC's finest too as well. Now, look, Lou the Writer, man. I'll put it to you like this: the Dallas Mavericks, if they win this game right here, they're back in the series. Now, one of the things that I think that a lot of people aren't looking at is that the Mavericks they won here and there when it came to being on the road. All right, they've proven that they could win on the road, but footsteps is a hard place to play when we talk about the math. So you think it's going to be the Suns? Yeah, I'll pick the Suns, but this is going to be turning into a rivalry. Probably going to get a little bit chippy, sort of like what we're seeing with the Miami Heat and the Philly game, and I'm kind of glad that it is turning chippy with Philly and Miami, which I'm going to talk about a little bit later. I wanted to save the best for last or whatever. I don't have that much time, but I mean, if you're choosing the Suns, I'm not surprised because I'm going to be real with you. I thought that they were actually gonna sweep them, but Luca was able to. Luca, as well as the other guys, were able to come in the end, and that's what you needed. You said Luca needs a big man that can score. Well, I mean, he just needs a solid big man. I mean, Powell, he does a decent job, but see, you do need a guy that can also rim protect and run the floor too as well. Not so much just always scoring. You need a guy that's good in the pick and roll or whatever. Sort of, like Aiden. But the difference between Aiden can score, Aiden can defend, Aiden can do the pick and roll, Aiden can run the floor, Aiden can do so many different things, and that's why I always talk about a guy like Aiden, and that's why Aiden is. I'm talking about just in other aspects of the game. Rudy Gobert's not on his level. You see, I've seen Lucas literally he moved his feet so well. He would be dangerous on both ends if he got in better shape. Yeah. You mentioned that before, Tom. We're in shape, and that's what I've been mentioning. We all know that, okay? And I think that in the off season he'll do that, provided that he doesn't do anything else. Because we got to remember that he did play the Olympics coming into the season or whatever. So we gotta take that into consideration or whatever. But it's no excuses. You chose to do that, just like Kevin Durant, just like uh, Jason Tatum, all these other guys, Chris Middleton, uh, Drew Holiday, all these other guys. They went out there and they played the Olympics. So look. My thing is this: if you went out there and you're coming off of an Achilles, if you went out there and you're out of shape and all this other stuff, hey, you made that decision to go out there and play internationally. So I'm not going to sit up there and be like, oh, well, he played international in a ball. Give him some time. Nah, you got to come in ready to go. Got to come in ready to go. And that's what I was telling Stephen Green. Stephen Green knows how I rock, man. I don't sit up here and give him some. Don't worry about it. Do you see Klay Thompson bitching? No, you don't. Klay Thompson got out there, hadn't played in nearly 2 years, man. Had two different major injuries on his leg or whatever, and still getting out there and say, hey, look, I'm gonna get out there and play the goddamn game. What's up with it, Ralph Lauren? I see you in the building. Yeah, absolutely. You know, but I mean, we disagree on the fact that the Phoenix, uh, that Dallas is going to lose. But like I said, I want people to make it very. I want to make something very abundantly clear to people. Okay, all right. Luca is an all-world talent. Luca is an all-world talent. Okay, and Luca is that guy. But Jordan was that guy. All right, Kobe was that guy. You know, Kareem was that guy. Magic was that guy. Wilt was that guy. But they didn't do it without a team. They didn't do it without giving some sort of effort on defense. And that's what it's going to take. But it's all a learning process. Like I say, young Jordan took him a while to learn. He knew how to score. Jordan even knew how to play defense, despite what they may say. He played both ends of the floor over there at Carolina and then coming over there with the Bulls and everything. You know what I'm saying? But he had to learn to be trustworthy of not only his teammates, but he also had to be trustworthy of what was being implemented, and he had to buy in. You said fast forward last year when I saw you criticizing Luca after the Clippers series. I thought you were hating initially, but you were speaking fast. Yeah, no, wasn't hating at all. Listen, this is what I said, and you probably understand, Tom Wayne. This is the thing, okay? It's not hating on Luca, because like I said, everybody gets it on his channel. I criticize everybody. I criticize everybody, and I criticize the shit out of my team. But this is the thing. They were up 2-0, Tom Wynn. They had the series. You see man, you see the potential. You see the potential. But Luka's problem was him not coming off the ball. Sorry about that, y'all. He didn't come off the ball. And then when he didn't come off the ball, okay, guess what ended up happening? uh, he was expending so much energy trying to come down, trying to do all that other stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to think that's why the point guard is such a demanding position. It wasn't meant to be a flamboyant position because you held so many responsibilities. Well, you're out there, you want to dribble. You're out there, you want to rebound. You're out there, you want to play mate. And then on top of that, you want to take the bulk of the scoring. Well, guess what? By the time you're in the fourth quarter, guess what? You're gassed because you're not in shape. And on top of that, you can't even move on defense as well. So that's why the Clippers were able to come back. Nah, I don't. I don't baby anybody on here. Giannis, he's got to play better. Giannis has been inefficient in the first two games, but the thing about Giannis, that second game or whatever, started playing like very tentative, and also he didn't look as confident or whatever. And the stat line, yeah, it might look all pretty and everything, 20 something points, all that other stuff. But if you really looked at the game, then you'll see that he was very inefficient, just like the first game or whatever. Not a difference between the first game or whatever is he was able to do other stuff or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Not to say that he was stat padding, but he was getting everybody involved. And then on top of that, check this out too. This is another thing that I got to bring up. Look, we can sit up here like Donovan Mitchell for an example. Okay, I'm gonna say this and then I got to go ahead and I got to ride out. But with Donovan Mitchell, thing about Donovan Mitchell is the fact that everybody praises him. He's such a great scorer. He can do this and he can do that. But look how inefficient he is. Look how much of a volume scorer he is, and look how much he takes away from his team. So points ain't gonna tell the whole story or whatever. Go look at the percentages and go look how he's shooting and stuff. And I'm not even a numbers guy to tell you that, right? But listen, y'all, man, it's been fun with y'all, man. At the moment, I'll be back later. Got a lot of things on my plate. Make sure y'all like the video, share it, subscribe, hit the notifications so that you will be notified. Polo Sports Talking Entertainment, man. I'm gonna get at you later.